35 prisons in Quebec began in 2016. I began thinking about the project. I was thinking about how here in Quebec we knew a lot about the prisons in the US and not so much the prisons that were around us. I was also interested too in knowing why that was. I decided to look up where the prisons were around, and I ended up visiting every prison in Quebec, as close as I could get to each of them. I went to each prison as close as I could, and I put a piece of paper on the ground and I rubbed the ground in front of the prison, making this imprint. Those drawings were transferred into etchings, which are in the floor now of the Musée. I wanted to make a sort of map or cartography of all the prisons in Quebec. It was important for me because as an anti-prison organizer and as a prison abolitionist, I think we need to think about how we treat people in our society when they cause harm. And I think prisons are not the solution to trauma, specifically for communities who are mostly incarcerated, who are mostly Black, Indigenous, people of color, and people who are poor, and also people who are dealing with mental illness. I think one thing that's important to note with the exhibition too is that there is a sort of reading corner. There's a publication with a reading list that talks a bit about my research, and I see the project as a starting point for conversation. I hope people read the books that I've presented there. They're mostly by people of color who've been engaged in anti-prison thinking for a long time. And I do see my work sort of as a starting point for conversation and for the audience to like do their own work. I think art can be a lot of different things, and I like making weird, big, giant sculptures, but also I see my work as a popular education tool, and as a way to start a conversation for people who maybe haven't thought about anti-prison stuff or prison abolition in general.